Thank you, Callum, for that talk. It was really insightful and helpful. I'm going to talk about something that's not really helpful. How are we all feeling tonight? Feeling all right? Yeah, cool. All right. I'm here to talk about assembly definitions in Unity, how they can help you write better code and lead to faster development. Hi, my name is Emmet Winter. I'm a software development team lead and architect in a mobile games company, and I hope this might help at least one of you. I'm going to presume that at least one of you has seen this before. This is Unity compiling code. Developers stare at the screen for a very, very long time. Sometimes dozens of minutes on end every day. You might ask yourself, why is this happening to me? What have I done to deserve this? Well, C# scripts that we write, we can't immediately run them. Rather, the way C# and Unity works is that all these scripts are taken and they're compiled into something called an assembly. Here we have assembly C#.dll. This is the default assembly that Unity uses, with some exceptions. All the scripts that you will write will be compiled into this assembly, and this is the actual executable that your game is running. Now, this is all well and good. It saves us heaps of time. But the issue comes when we have very, very large projects with thousands of scripts. In this case, we can modify just one script, and all our code will have to be recompiled and create a new assembly C#.dll file. This can take a very long time, and especially when we're trying to debug our project and solve something, we can waste a lot of time compiling code because of this. The solution to this, as you might have guessed, is the ability to break our code into multiple assemblies. Here we have an example I've created where I've broken down a project into a couple of different assemblies. We can see here the utils assembly. It has a couple of scripts inside, and other assemblies that all depend on utils. Depending means that they can use the scripts and functions from utils. In this context, if I were to modify a single file, we can see that the assembly that this file belongs to needs to recompile and rebuild, as well as the assembly which depends on it. But most of the assemblies here are completely unrelated to this change, and they're not recompiled. In other words, we've skipped the majority of the recompiling in this example. In order to create assemblies, we will need to use something called assembly definitions. These are simple assets in Unity. All we have to do is create them, and then all the scripts in the folder they're in will become part of that assembly, as well as all the subfolders and scripts. Here I got a live example showing how it is done. I don't think it's playing, so I'm gonna have to maybe try and tap it. It's gonna play? No? Yes? Is it playing? I think it's playing. Awesome. Right, so here we can see I just want to create assembly definition. I give it an indicative name matching the namespace, and it is created. All these scripts that are in this folder are now part of this assembly. It's really as simple as that. You might notice when you do this in your own project that you will get compilation errors. This is most likely because your scripts here depend on stuff which are outside of that assembly. So all you have to do is go to this field over here, the assembly definition references, and reference the assembly those scripts belong to, and then your project should ideally compile. There are multiple pros to there we go. All right. There are multiple pros to using assembly definitions, the first of which we've already covered. You are going to spend less time compiling code, which will in turn lead to essentially faster development times, as well as you will be enforcing best practices in your project. You're actually going to spend more time thinking about what is the relationship between your scripts and your systems, how they're coupled together, and thinking about this process will allow you to ideally create better systems that are more reusable. Finally, you're unlocking a bunch of future options and upgrades moving forward, which are really, really nifty, such as making custom Unity packages or using the built-in version defines, which is a cool way of making code compile sometimes. We don't have time to get into it. But there are some cons to using assembly definitions. It is a lot more work using them and thinking about the folder structure and the scripts and how they relate to one another. Definitely more than just vibe coding and putting everything inside one folder called scripts. If you guys are not going to use assembly definitions the correct way, unfortunately, you're going to mitigate all its advantages, which basically means you're just going to waste your own time. I hope this was helpful. I would honestly recommend using assembly definitions only on very large projects because of the extra time that it introduces and the fact that compilation otherwise isn't affected all that much. But yeah, thank you very much.